Hey guys, Mark here, and as you can probably tell, I'm in a new studio. I've got new lighting, I've got new sound equipment, a new space, and I'm super excited to talk about all of it and show you guys, but it's not done yet. In fact, this tiny corner behind me is about the only space in this studio that's even remotely presentable, so I'll leave the studio tour for another day, but that's okay because today is all about these, the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro. This is Samsung's answer to the AirPods Pro, not only in name, but also in feature set. These might be the best wireless earbuds that Samsung sells right now, but there are some minor issues that could revoke that title for some of you out there, and we'll talk about some of those in just a bit. The case isn't fully matte. It has this rainbow-like finish when the light hits it, but it's also not glossy to the point where fingerprints show up, which is nice. The buds, on the other hand, well, those are a different story. The earbuds themselves have a mirrored finish, and when I say mirror, I mean that quite literally because you can see yourself in them. I thought at first that this was a huge mistake given that there's a touch panel on either earbud which would make them look kind of awful after the first time you touched it, but Samsung thankfully has seemed to have thought about this because it's covered with some sort of oleophobic coating that works very well to fight off fingerprints. The part that goes in your ear is a light gray color to match the inside of the case, and overall the earbuds and case look pretty decent in my opinion when you hold them in your hand. I'm not a huge fan of this mirrored silver look in my ears though, but that's just personal preference. To charge the battery case, you can use the included USB-C cable or plop it onto any Qi standard wireless charger. Samsung is claiming that the earbuds will get you up to 5 hours of battery life with the earbuds themselves, and the charging case will provide you with an additional 13 hours of charge for a total of 18 hours of playback time before both the buds and the case are completely dead. That's not bad, but I was hoping to get a little bit more than 5 hours out of the buds themselves given how big and bulbous these buds are. Turns out that the size has very little to do with the battery capacity. It has a lot more to do with the new two-way speaker design. Traditionally, earbuds have one single driver inside that will be responsible for producing sounds across the audio spectrum, from the sub-bass frequencies to the high frequencies. Inside of Galaxy Buds Pro, however, there are two drivers. A woofer is responsible for the low end, and a tweeter is responsible for the treble. And that's a lot like normal pairs of speakers. I was skeptical at first of how much of a difference this could make, but the results were fairly surprising. The Galaxy Buds Pro actually sound really good. The bass and sub-bass response is very tight, but not too overpowering, and while the trebles can muddy that low end a little, the sound is nice and crisp for the most part. I actually prefer the sound of the Galaxy Buds Pro over the sound of my AirPods Pro. I'm going to do a full comparison of the Galaxy Buds Pro and the AirPods Pro within the next week or so, so if you aren't subscribed to the channel yet, now would be a great time to do so that you don't miss it. The one thing I wasn't overly crazy about with regards to sound on these earbuds was the soundstage and instrument separation. That's not surprising for a pair of earbuds, but these do sound quite a bit more closed off than some other earbuds that I've tested in the past. The Galaxy Buds Pro also come with active noise cancellation and ambient sound modes. The active cancellation on these earbuds are actually pretty good and are about on par with most of the more expensive earbuds with ANC that I've tested. Some softer, more consistent sounds like a ceiling fan or a dehumidifier will be canceled out fairly well by the Galaxy Buds Pro, but as to be expected with most ANC devices these days, things that vary in pitch, like people talking, won't be canceled out nearly as well. The ambient sound mode, on the other hand, wasn't very impressive. Yes, I could hear things and understand what people were saying when they were talking to me, but it sounded extremely artificial, like I was talking to them on a very old phone that had a poor connection. There is a neat feature that will activate the ambient sound mode automatically if you start talking, but you have to download the Samsung Wearables app to use that, and unfortunately that plugin that you need to make the Galaxy Buds Pro portion of the app work is not available on iOS, just like how you can't use any of the settings for AirPods Pro on Android. I see you, Samsung. Like I briefly mentioned earlier, the sides of Galaxy Buds Pro can be tapped to do different things, some of which can be changed in the app. The tapping functions are exactly what you'd expect. Once to play or pause, twice to skip a song, and 3 times to go back a song. The touch and hold functions are different. You can assign them to switch noise cancellation modes, activate the voice assistant, turn up or down the volume, or activate Spotify, which just turns on and plays a random song for some reason. The touch panels are fine, but they are relatively large, which means every time you want to adjust the fitment in your ear or even just take them out, that usually registers as touch and starts playing music, even if you didn't want them to. Also baked into the app is an equalizer of sorts where you can select from several different presets to change up how these earbuds sound. I personally like how dynamic sounds a lot, but it would have been much better if I could manually adjust the sound in addition to having these presets. Still, it's better than AirPods Pro, which has nothing in the way of presets or an EQ built into its settings app. Galaxy Buds Pro also have the ability to create 360-degree audio similar to AirPods spatial audio, although that only seems to be available on select Samsung phones right now, so I wasn't able to test it. The biggest issue that people buying these earbuds are going to experience is actually in the comfort area. Now, for me personally, they're fine. They aren't the most comfortable earbuds I've tested, but they didn't hurt my ears after having them in for a while either, and they never fell out. I ran around my apartment, jumped up and down, did some push-ups, shook my head like crazy, and they stayed in my ears. So for me personally, thumbs up. But I've heard that was not the experience for a lot of other people. I have big ears, so big earbuds are not a problem, but if you have small or even medium-sized ears, these look like they have the potential to be uncomfortable, so keep that in mind. Overall, I like the Galaxy Buds Pro. If we're talking pure audio experience, they're some of the best sounding earbuds on the market in this price category. It's just a shame that they can be uncomfortable for people with smaller ears, but for people like me with big ones, it's a non-issue. The Buds Pro will cost you around $200 US, which isn't cheap, but it's certainly cheaper than the AirPods Pro at $250. If you're an iOS user, you might want to look more towards the AirPods Pro to get all of the same features, but if you're a part of the Android fan club, the Galaxy Buds Pro are an excellent pair of wireless earbuds, as long as they fit your ears. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to support my channel, and as always, have a great day.